Hello there.
Well, welcome to Your In Depth, where we walk through and break down our favorite fictional universes. I'm going to shoot myself. You were smirking, and I don't like it. You're making me giggle. I stop it. I'm going to.
I like that
turn off
intro.
the camera.
Let's do that intro. Let's keep it. I like it.
Man. Okay, to give the listener right off the bat, let's just almost every single time, Evan and I cannot start. Like we start and we start giggling or something happens. And the first intro, like the intro that you guys hear, is very often not the first intro we try.
It's like take 4 or 5.
Yes, and here's the thing. Usually, what Evan will do to me is we have this little inside joke going that I'm not going to disclose right now. There's something that he says that when, like, often it's like, I'm like, well, welcome to, and he says it and throws me off, and we start giggling. Well, right now, I started saying it, I started doing the intro, and I look over at the camera, and Evan's just smirking because he realizes he forgot to say it, and I started thinking about it, and then we just start, yeah, whatever. Anyway, so today we are going to be covering Star Wars: The Clone Wars episodes 21 and 20 of Season 1. We have a little bit of Star Wars news and podcast news intertwined before we actually get started, but that's what we're covering today. So the first piece of Star Wars news, there was a potential Kenobi series plot leak. This, again, I cannot stress enough potential, because IMDb is a pretty reputable, I'd say, website as far as all things movie, plot-wise, parent reviews, cast listings. It's like everything.
Yeah, but one thing that could be happening with this is like, because every once in a while, a series and stuff will just they'll give a plot release to divert people away from what the actual plot's gonna be.
Yeah, like an intentional misleading plot leak.
So like, like with the final season of Game of Thrones, they released like 3 different plots to throw people off. People are like, oh, this is how it's gonna go, but then they go, no, it's going this way. So like people don't see it.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying that's what this is,
trail.
but it's a chance. It's not confirmed. Yeah. This is what the plot is. But anyways,
right. And again, anything like this though, I'm very skeptical on. I don't want to give you guys like false, things. Like I want what we say to be, true and all. And so I want to stress that this is purely rumor, but it was uploaded to IMDb that the plot summary for the very first episode, which is giving the plot for the entire series kind of, says 10 years after the fall of the Galactic Republic, Obi-Wan Kenobi hides on Tatooine, distantly protecting the son of his former apprentice, Luke Skywalker. Darth Vader eagerly searches for Obi-Wan and other living Jedi with his apprentice, Galen Merrick, played by Sam Witwer.
So,
now, again, rumor.
Yeah.
And I did notice, so immediately I'm like, I'm making a YouTube video on this. So I did a YouTube short, like just breaking this, like just saying it really quick, just to get it out there, try to, whatever. When I went back to read it, to narrate it for the video, it was removed. So I don't know if this was actually like if it was a leak and then Disney's like, no, take it down now, do it. Or, maybe it was like, no, that this isn't true. We need to remove that. I don't know.
So,
but I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If it is true though, what was the apprentice's name?
Galen Merrick.
Yes. So Galen Merrick, for those that are not aware, is the character you play as in Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. He is Starkiller. And Jacob and I have talked about this before. In those games, he is portrayed as a super powerful, like, better than Darth Vader type of character. And so if this is true, I hope they go a different route with said character.
Yeah.
But if I'm not mistaken, did it say in there that it was the same actor that plays and that voices Starkiller in the game? So
Yeah, so Sam Witwer is the character did the character modeling and did the voice and all for Starkiller in the game. He is also the same guy who voices Darth Maul in Star Wars in the Clone Wars. Not the first movie, not that one. I don't even think, did he even say anything in Phantom Menace?
he says like 5 words.
Yeah, but either way,
But,
so he's been in Star Wars in a couple different areas.
yeah. And so like this, if this is true, which I mean, it's very possible because the actor has been working with Star Wars, has been working for Disney for a little bit
Hmm.
now. Um, so, but if this is true, I don't know if it will canonize those games because as of right now, those games are non-canon. You know,
Right.
but if it is true, it potentially could canonize those games. Um,
Yeah, at least the character, and that I'd be happy with that. That'd
yeah,
be pretty cool.
and
But
so my only
the
thing with
games,
this is if it is true, I hope they take a different route with Starkiller because in the
mhm,
games, at one point in one of the games, he like pulls an Imperial Star Destroyer out of orbit and crashes it into a planet. Like that's how much power they
mhm,
give him in one of the games, and so like I'm really
yeah,
hoping they don't go that route. Again, if this is true.
right. And
Another thing I
and
see with
there's a lot
this,
of
yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. Oh, there's a lot of events in that game too that don't quite line up with the movies that we've seen.
Correct.
And so it's like there's probably some give or take.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
And
But
again, neither of us can stress this enough. If this plot release is true, is real,
it is 100%.
yeah. um, but if it is, because it says Darth Vader's eagerly hunting Obi-Wan and other Jedi survivors, so we may get a short scene where Darth Vader fights a Jedi survivor. Maybe like a big name
Mm,
character or like a character that we have a name for at least that escaped Order 66.
I want to see him destroy Jocasta Nu.
Yeah, because
I want that to be in the show.
briefly, there's a comic where Jocasta Nu does escape, and for those that are not aware, Jocasta Nu is the like librarian there in the Jedi Temple, where
It
in
is
Attack
not
of the
in our
Clones,
records.
yeah,
It does not exist.
yes, that her. Um, but in one of the comics, she takes some Jedi younglings and Padawans and flees Coruscant to another planet to try and at least keep some of the Jedi Order, like give it hope, maybe restart it type of deal. And Darth Vader tracks her down and kills her and all of the younglings and Padawans. So like,
Mm.
it's very real that we could see that in this series. It might do a jump over to Darth Vader as he's fighting Jocasta. You know,
Hmm.
and maybe it gives us the implication that he kills the younglings and Padawans.
Who knows? There's
Yeah.
plenty of ways that it could go, but I'm hopeful. I'm excited for sure. Regardless, seeing the series, no matter what direction they take, unless Jar Jar's still alive, I would be more than happy to, see it and
Oh
all.
no,
But
no,
this
Jacob,
would be
because
really pretty cool.
because he is still alive at this point. If we see
Okay,
him on screen,
that's what I meant. Yes, that is what I
yes.
meant. But
If we see him
yeah,
on screen, oh
yeah. Either way, then you have a bit of Star Wars news for next month, even.
yeah. So
Um,
the Book of Boba Fett will be releasing. Will be airing and releasing. They'll be doing a weekly episode on Disney Plus, just like they've done with the other TV shows they've released. Um, so we have Ming Na Wen, who plays Fennec Shan in uh, The Mandalorian, and then we have Tamara Morrison, who plays Boba Fett. They're going to be
mhm,
the two main characters in the Book of Boba Fett, and it is airing December 29th.
29th. Okay.
Yeah, so right there, right as we go into the new year, it'll start releasing episodes on Disney Plus.
Yep. And we were talking about. Uh, we have had a lot of skepticism on covering, newly. Why is my mouse not working? There we go. Newly like airing shows because we tried that with The Mandalorian,
Yeah,
um, and then we didn't talk about the Clone Wars for a year. But we were talking about this one, and I think that we would be able to handle doing this. And so we are going to hopefully start covering that as soon as it comes out. When did you say that it was going to be airing? Like what day of the week?
So the first day,
Or did it say?
I
Oh,
can check my
29th.
calendar on my phone real quick.
29th is a Wednesday.
Yeah, so it will air on the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
And so our thought is, and what we're gonna try and do is
Mm-hmm.
still cover the Clone Wars and still cover Lord of the Rings, because I'm fairly certain we'll be probably wrapping up Lord of the Rings right around that time.
Yeah, we'll probably be wrapping. Well, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's iffy
We're gonna have a
with Lord
lot
of the
of
Rings.
parts for these.
Yeah, it's iffy with Lord of the Rings because they're so long.
It's not
but,
iffy. We will be covering it at that
so
time.
so we'll still be covering both Clone Wars and Lord of the Rings. But we got to talk more on a specific day that'll air. But we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna try and up it to 3 episodes a week, and also cover the Book of Boba Fett for as long as the Book of Boba Fett goes for its first season, and then we'll go back down to two episodes a week. But I think both Jacob and I agree that with this coming out, with it being brand new, it's definitely something we want to cover.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time we reach that time period, because we're going, canonically with Star Wars, it's gonna be a hot minute before we were to reach that if we were to wait.
Yeah, which I mean,
So
given it's probably, I mean, most shows like that, I mean, there are maybe 8 or 9 episodes. If we stick to a weekly basis, that's still 2 months of not doing the Clone Wars. And then there's give or take a little bit of time for human error. And I don't know, we don't want to be pushing off proceeding through the Clone Wars for too long, because
so
we did that already and we don't want to do that again.
yeah, so with this, we're gonna like I said, once Book of Boba Fett airs, we're gonna try and up it to 3 episodes a week. So we're still hitting Lord of the Rings, we're still hitting Clone Wars, but we can also cover this new information, this new adventure with the Book of Boba Fett, and get our inputs and our kind of in-depth dive as we do it.
And our idiocy.
And our idiocy, yes, absolutely. To you guys on that right away, instead of waiting
Yeah.
a year down the road at least, because Star Wars has so much to it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. But that's it.
So December 29th, Book of Boba Fett. Mm-hmm. We'll start covering that with the other two.
Yep. But without going any further, let's go ahead and get started with the Clone Wars.
Yep. So on this episode, we are going to be covering episodes 21 and 22 of Season 1, finishing out Season 1 of the Clone Wars. We're going to start off with episode 21, Liberty on Ryloth. And as I said the last episode, it is a continuation of episodes 19 and 20.
Right.
It's like a 3-episode story arc. And the brief little description that we get from Disney Plus is Mace Windu must convince Sham Syndulla to save the capital city.
Mm-hmm. And the quote that we get is, compromise is a virtue to be... I'm going to restart that. Compromise is a virtue to be cultivated, not a weakness to be despised.
Yeah. So we get a little bit of the recap of what we saw in the last 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm. And I do have
Anakin.
I've been including the little thing that the narrator does say. I can include that, so we kind of set the scene if you'd like.
Yep. I'll have you read it in 1 second.
Yeah.
So a brief overall, and then Jacob will read our narration that we are given. Just as a reminder, for the last 2 episodes, generalized, Anakin broke through the blockade, and Obi-Wan has saved some civilians in those respective episodes 19 and 20. But if you want to give a little more of a detailed summary, by all means.
We just get our stereotypical, not stereotypical, but our typical narrator, Admiral Yularen voice go. Says, Republic victory is at hand. Clone troopers under the command of Jedi have successfully invaded the Separatist-occupied world of Ryloth. Anakin Skywalker battles the enemies in the skies, while Obi-Wan Kenobi frees villages from the grip of the vile Separatist leader Wat Tambor. Now, Jedi General Mace Windu leads the attack on the enemy lines in the final offensive to liberate the capital city of Lesu.
Yeah, so basically within that kind of summary of the last two episodes, it kind of gives us the implication that even though Anakin broke through the blockade so they can start landing troops, there's still a space battle going on.
Hmm.
Um, and Obi-Wan is still working on a different part of the planet, going besides the one village that we saw him go through with his troopers. He's still going to other villages and helping clear the planet of Separatist forces. Um, but we start this episode with Mace Windu and a column of ATTE walkers.
Hmm.
Is that all terrain tactical enforcers or something like that? Is what that stands for? Something close to that.
Yeah, I think you missed a letter or two, but that.
All terrain tactical enforcement or all terrain tactical. I'm drawing a
Testicle
blank on what the E
enlargement.
stands for. Potentially, I mean it's possible.
Oh, yeah, it's up in the air, really,
Yeah.
or maybe closer to the ground. Anyway.
But we see, Mace Windu's column of ATT Ewalkers moving along a cliff edge, making their way to the capital city, taking fire from some AAT tanks, or the Separatist tanks, as they're trying to make their way, returning fire, being fired upon.
Hmm.
And we see, the Separatists targeting the front walker and then I believe the back walker as well,
Hmm.
to kind of trap them in there so they can't retreat and they can't move forward.
Right, and they do hit one of the tanks, and Mace Windu and some clones emerge from it. They get out of there. Um, Droids then target the rear units of the
Yeah,
line of
because
Republic tanks.
it shows us that the droids have destroyed the first two walkers. So the
Mhm.
first two walkers in their column are destroyed, and then they're now shifting their target to the back two.
Yep.
Like I said,
And
to literally trap them on this cliff edge as they're
mhm.
trying to make their way.
Yeah, and Mace Windu moves forward to clear the road. He gets up next to one of the tanks that's blocking their way, and he force pushes the destroyed tank off the cliff, and then they start moving along more.
Yeah.
And
We do get to
progressing.
see, although we're not given his name right here, we do get to see Mace Windu's clone commander. And just
Yeah,
for easier
I didn't
reference,
catch his name.
it's Commander Pons.
Pons?
Yes, like
Okay.
duck ponds, ponds.
Oh, like Ponds, not Pons. It's
No,
Ponds.
Ponds.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yep. So that
Commander
is
Ponds.
Mace Windu's clone commander. But yeah, so as Mace Windu clears that front way, he has their light armor, their light troopers move up, and they're on. I think it's the A. Was it the ATS, AST, A?
Bro, I have absolutely no idea. There's way
I
too
don't
many
know.
letters in this. I
Yeah,
swear I'm
yeah.
dyslexic, but I think it's
It's
just the.
the little like two-legged little walker things that the Republic uses. So they're fast, almost like
Oh,
scout troops vehicles. Very maneuverable. They got a
yeah,
little cannon on the front.
right.
He calls those
Um,
forward, and the ATTEs carry two per ATTE in their
mhm,
back part of the vehicle.
yeah. And, yeah, Mace and four clones go towards the droids in those things, the walkers, the whatever. And the droids, we cut to them, and they're saying that it doesn't look good. The droids' tanks are firing away at the incoming AST, whatever they are.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm drawing a blank. Like you said, there's
why don't you
too many
search it?
vehicles
I'm
with too
curious
many
on that because
acronyms. Yeah.
um, but anyway, and then the clones and Mace they end up taking out all the tanks they're able to. Mace asks, I guess it would have been Commander Pond, Pond or Pons?
Pons with
Is there
an
an
S at the end.
S?
S at the
Okay.
end. Yeah.
Commander Pons, how many men they lost, and Pons replies, he thinks 32. They talk a little bit more about the battle, and we do see a recon droid kind of listening in behind some of the wreckage. Mace briefs, it kind of cuts ahead, and oh my god, I'm mush mouth.
Okay. So the vehicle is
Yeah.
called. It's an all-terrain recon transport. So ATR transport or
Oh,
ATRT. Sorry.
ATR.
ATR.
ATRT. Okay.
Yes. And then the ATTE Walker, to make sure I
Mm-hmm.
get the right what it's called. It's all terrain. Gosh dang it! All terrain tactical enforcers is what
Hmm.
that's short for.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, Mace is briefing Yoda, Admiral Yularen, and the Chancellor, and that fat blue guy, which his name was Orn Free Ta. So
Yeah.
that guy,
So
the senator.
yeah, he's the senator of Ryloth.
Mm-hmm. And Mace says that he is going to try to team up with Cham Syndulla, a freedom fighter slash kind of radical that
Yeah.
is on the planet. Mace is we see him. Dude, I'm stumbling over words.
Um.
Oh my god. Um,
So Mace is giving his briefing to, like you said, Yoda, Chancellor Palpatine, and Anakin's actually there for a brief minute. And fat blue guy. And Admiral Yularen. Anakin does inform Mace Windu and the Chancellor that he has now at this exact point finished clearing, the air, clearing the planet.
mhm.
The space battle is over. He's got the Separatists on the run, so the Republic has control of the space around Ryloth.
Yeah.
So Mace Windu says he's going to go to. Let me get the right word for it, because he gives us a location where he's going to search for him.
Mm.
Um, Okay, so he tells us that Obi-Wan has taken the Jixuan Desert, um, giving so that was the last location of Separatist troops. So the Republic now has control of the southern hemisphere. Um, and then they talk about having to capture the excuse me, the capital city, to truly, solidify their control of the planet. Um, And then he does mention that he's gonna, try and get Cham Syndulla to help them.
Mhm.
And Fat Blue Guy, not a fan of him. He calls him a radical. He wants to gain power on Ryloth. He wants to essentially like usurp this dude's power that he has.
Mhm.
Um,
Um,
and
we cut a. Go ahead.
and I say one of the things that we learn a little bit throughout the Clone Wars TV show with different planets and different centers and whatnot is on some planets like Ryloth, the senator of the planet and the actual people don't necessarily see eye to eye. 'Cause,
Mm-hmm.
they elect their senator, and at the time he seems like a good candidate, but the senators in Star Wars stay on Coruscant, just like with the U.S. The senators live in Washington D.C. Or like they have at least a place close by so they can attend their
Mm-hmm.
meetings and all that kind of stuff that they have to do, political, whatever you want to call it. And so that leaves, plenty of opportunity for those senators to, lose touch with their people,
Mm-hmm.
not being able to represent them in the way that they want to be represented. The people might need this to happen on the planet, but the senator is pushing for, this in the Senate. So there's a lot of disconnect, um, on specific planets, Ryloth being one of them, between the senator who is representing the people and the people themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, Cham Syndulla, who lives on Ryloth, is depending on which Twi'lek you're talking to, I guess. Like a lot of them revere him as a great leader and someone that can lead them through these troubling times. But a lot of them do see him as a radical, a rebel, not a terrorist, but like see him more on the violent side where he probably shouldn't be leading them. It's a very like volatile situation on Ryloth specifically.
Hmm. We cut ahead a little bit though, and we see Mace looking over some rubble, and
Yeah,
he's looking for Cham and the freedom fighters. He does find some tracks of a creature that they ride that is native to the region. So he kind of has an area to kind of follow him.
yeah, and he
Um,
does say that it's fresh, so it's like okay, they were
mhm.
here recently, type of deal.
Yeah, and they hear a sound down below them, and so they jump down off of the cliff that they're on top of and go to pursue that sound.
Yeah.
We then
Right before they do, though, literally right before they do, because where they're at, where they see the tracks, if you look, and they briefly mention it when the clones do, there's graves right in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of talk about Shams and Dula had made a stand against the Separatists when they came, and this was a site of one of those battles where he lost a lot of his freedom fighters. And so like even if you look at the scenery and whatnot, it looks like a desolate, uh, like kind of destroyed place. It's got like craters and stuff on the grounds. Like you can tell there's a huge battle here, and as the clones say, and Mace Windu says, like a lot of people were killed and whatnot. So it kind of gives a little bit of a tragedy to the situation here.
Mm-hmm. But we cut to Wat Tambor and his intelligence droid, talking to Count Dooku. He tells them to, after they basically say that the Jedi are here or the Republic is here, and Count Dooku tells them to just destroy the city and show the galaxy the cost of a Republic victory. Basically being like, screw it, destroy everything and make them look bad.
Yeah, it's essentially like destroy everything, kill everybody.
Mm-hmm.
To like you said, to make the Republic look bad. Like if you want the Republic to come save your planet, this is the cost you have to pay. Like you have to pay in lives.
That's the message that Saruman here is wanting to. But we see
because Wat Tambor is a greedy little. And he's wanting, after Count Dooku tells him to destroy everything, like he gets that look like everything, like all this treasure, all this like all this stuff that he's gotten here, and because like Count Dooku knows that the Republic has almost the entire planet now, like, and Wat Tambor being a leader of the Separatists, if they capture Wat Tambor, like he's a like a treasure trove of information for him. Like he can give base locations, factory locations, fleet positions, that all that kind of stuff. Being one of the head leaders of the Separatists, and being privy to that information since he controls a large number of the droids, or like he's responsible for producing a large number of the droids. So like Count Dooku's not dumb, so he's like, you need to leave now, and make sure they know what it's going to cost. Type of deal.
Yeah. But we see some droids patrolling over near Mace Windu and his clones. Mace is they're kind of hidden behind a crashed. If I'm not wrong, wasn't it an LAAT?
No, actually, it's a.
What was it?
It's actually a droid vehicle, a giant droid transport.
I haven't seen it in a couple days, but
so like in the Phantom Menace. When they have that fight between the droids and the Gungans, those giant droid transports that drop off all the droids. One of those.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. But
I don't even know what that letter starts with because I have a website pulled up that has all the vehicles for Star Wars listed.
Yeah, it doesn't matter really.
If I knew at least what it started with, I could be like, "This is the name of said vehicle," but I don't even know what it starts with, so I don't even know where to start looking because it's alphabet.
Yeah. No, I had the wrong visual in my mind, but it's one of those. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
One of the droids that is marching along picks up a head of another droid that like was left from the battle, and he says that it was RB551, which was an older model powered by a central computer, as we did see in the Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
they blew up the big donut in the sky and it shut down all the droids down on Naboo. It was because there was one thing controlling all of them.
Sending them their orders, whatever whatever they need the droids to do is like type computer, send it, droids do it.
Right, and this droid comments that he's like we're independent thinkers, and like kind of like we're a newer model. Yeah, and then they all say Roger, Roger at the same time.
And so just to clarify too, so that droid head the one picked up, this droid patrol is keeping an eye. They're doing their normal patrol, but they're keeping their eye out for a lost droid patrol, and that's when it's like, oh, that's this droid. He was an older model. We're more advanced,
Yeah. But as Mace and his clones are hiding, I want to say we hear the Freedom Fighters kill off these droids.
Yeah, so we
And
hear
then,
blaster fire, and then you hear a droid
mhm,
like, "Ah, it's the Resistance." Because Mace Windu kind
do
of
a
comments after one of the
phenomenal
clones
impression.
asked, yeah, one of the clones is like, "Why didn't we take him out?" And he's like, "I think the rebels will do it for us." And then
Yeah, yeah.
we hear the gunfire, and it's the Resistance. Beep, bop, boop. Roger, Roger.
That one was good. But anyway,
uh,
Mace ends up meeting up with them. They like greet them at gunpoint and whatever.
yeah,
And Mace asks for help. Syndulla says he's not so willing to help. Essentially being like, why would I help you? Then we cut over to Wat
yeah,
Tambor. He's preparing to leave, but isn't quite ready yet because, he's. Is it at this point that we learn why he's sticking around? He's gathering all the treasure. He's being a
yeah.
greedy little
So
turd.
basically, what's happening is the droids are preparing a bunch of droid bombers or hyena
Mm-hmm.
bombers. Is their what they're called, hyena bombers? I don't know why they went with hyena, but they did. But they're loading up with bombs and whatnot as Wat Tambor's comes out to the intelligence droid, kind of watching over this, and he, gosh dang it. Yeah. So the intelligence droid lets Wat Tambor know that the bombers are almost ready. Um, and then the droid's gonna go prepare his ship for evacuation. But Wat Tambor's like, "I'm not leaving yet. Like, I'm not ready to go." Um, and the intelligence droid just simply tells him that, regardless, we have a schedule. We'll have the ship ready. But
Mm-hmm.
we don't learn why quite yet. Why he's
Okay.
wanting to not leave yet. But I mean, it's not a big spoiler. I think
No.
it's because of treasure.
Mm-hmm.
With a large city like that, there's going to be treasure. There's going to be money. Artifacts, anything like that that you would typically find in like a large city.
Yeah. But
Uh, it cuts to Mace Windu and a couple clones going
yeah, and they're
to
walking.
Cham Syndulla's his hideout, his home base.
Uh huh.
Uh, and we see some blurgs
Yeah.
that we saw
Um.
in heckin' Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The Twi'leks have them in cages, like it's like their
Mm-hmm.
mounts essentially. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
they kind
but
of
the
talk with Mace Windu kind of commenting on the graves that they saw, and trying to convince Cham Syndulla to help them.
yeah, and yeah, Cham says though that the Republic was unable to help them.
Yeah,
Basically, that though the Separatists are aiming to eliminate the people, the Republic isn't doing a great job at helping.
yeah. And
Um,
so when the war broke out, like after the events of Attack of the Clones, right?
mhm.
For those that don't know, Ryloth is positioned in the galaxy. It's not very far from Geonosis. So after the events of Geonosis, as in Attack of the Clones, we see the orbs going up to the big donuts for their ships and whatnot, and the Separatists are mobilizing their troops. The Separatists do a lot of fast attacks on different planets that they've prearranged, and so like Christosis was one of them, that we saw in the Clone Wars movie that we already covered. That was one of those planets where it was like battle in Geonosis ends, droids here, over to this planet and whatnot, and because Christosis and Ryloth are both positioned very close to Geonosis, so like it's not that the Republic didn't help, the Republic didn't have a chance to help. Like before
Yeah.
the Republic knew it, the droids were invading Ryloth. Before the Republic even knew, like as far as the Republic knew was, all right, we just won this battle on Geonosis, and now we're at war. Oh crap! The Separatists have already invaded planets X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever. Like the because obviously the Separatists have been prepared for this. They've been preparing for however long. They've had their targets prearranged, so like the Republic just didn't have a chance to really react, um, to help Ryloth and other planets that got invaded right away.
Hmm.
So I guess
Um,
what I'm saying is like Cham is being very unfair to the Republic and the way that
yeah,
he's
yeah.
approaching this.
But we see one of the clones try to pet the blurg that is behind bars, and it like tries to bite his hand off and stuff, and they all giggle at him. Syndulla comments that the blurgs are faster than the clones' riding machines. We see that there is a refugee outpost kind of here. There's many Twi'leks in here, and they have this little community formed. They're survivors and all, and they
Yeah.
do offer Mace food and drink. Just they're
Um,
being very welcoming, but also at the
yeah.
same time like we're not probably going to help you out.
Yeah. I mean, because like they're being as hospitable as they can with the few resources they have.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
know, um, and because like as we saw in the last episode, like the droids are using the Twi'leks as human shields when the Republic arrives, and
Mm-hmm.
as Cham has told us, like the droids aren't just like taking control of the planet; they're killing off the population. So
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of Twi'leks are abandoning villages, are abandoning cities, trying to go into hiding, and this is, I'm sure, one of many hidden settlements that they're trying to establish for the survival of their people.
Mm-hmm. We cut to Wat Tambor, who is ordering the bomber droids to target populated villages. As these droids approach, we cut ahead a little bit, but there we do see some droids approaching and bombing a village.
Yeah. But yeah, because we see some clones, some on foot, some on the ATRT, some on and some ATTE tanks, moving up to a village, and it's like nighttime, and that's when we see those bombers
Mm-hmm.
coming in and bomb the whole village.
Right,
Um, and
and we
because right before they bomb it, it shows one of the clones. I'm assuming some sort of lieutenant or like some sort of leadership position clone. Kind of asking about the village, and it's told it's mainly like women and children, and they're like, we'll spare rations where we can, like try and help them out as much as we can. And then they get like alerts that bombers are coming in,
mm-hmm.
and like they get prepared to get hit because I mean, you get bombers coming in, you're expecting them to hit the troops. You're not expecting them to
Yeah,
bomb a
right.
village, but the bombers just leveled the entire village, just dropping them left and right all over. Um,
Yeah,
and it
but we
shows the
cut over.
clones. Sorry, it shows the
Well,
clones
no,
step
just
out, and it shows the whole village on fire, and it's like
right.
there's no survivors.
No. But we cut ahead to or cut. I keep saying cut ahead. It's not really this time jump. It's just scene jumping. It's like we
Yeah,
cut over to Mace. Him and Syndulla, sorry, sit and watch some kind of like performance. That's like a lot of the Twi'leks doing the kind of this like the Greatest Showman kind of like routine.
yeah,
And he says that it eases the burden of war. Basically being
yeah.
like it's a distraction, it's entertainment. We need this.
And
These people need this.
I'm kind of curious too whether this is just something the Twi'leks do from time to time to kind of like ease their the tension, kind of have a time to kind of just relax, or if they're like, we have guests, we're gonna be hospitable, we're gonna.
Yeah, I
I'm
kind
not
of.
sure which it is.
It makes it sound like it's kind of my impression because him saying that it helps ease the burden of war. Like this is a regular event, or at least something that's outside of just now.
Yeah, and
Just as a way of kind of like I said, keeping your mind off of the war and its
okay, so
devastation.
I think it's just something they do from time to time because
Yeah,
I
it's not like
rewinded a
super
little
regular,
bit.
but I think
Yeah, I rewinded a little bit, and Cham tells Mace like, "I hope you don't mind that we're doing this,
mhm.
but it helps ease the burdens." And Mace kind of compliments him like, "You've provided well for your people. Like you're doing everything you can," and they see that type of thing
Mhm.
as they've got like kind of this little celebration thing going on in the background.
Yeah. We then also see them talking a little bit about war. Syndulla doesn't want to join the Republic as he fears Senator Ta McFatty vision for war. He
Yeah,
doesn't really, like you said, they're not seeing eye to eye. He's like, man, I don't really want to side with you guys because that means basically giving in and being like, okay, he's in charge of our planet
Yeah,
fully, and he doesn't really agree with his vision.
yeah. It's his vision as of right now, and then like Senator Ta's vision after the war is over as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Mace Windu even comments like, the Republic will help you rebuild your planet, and Cham Syndulla sees that as like, oh, your troops are gonna stay, so another armed occupation. Like he's seeing it
Mm-hmm.
as like it's just gonna be another thing like what the droids are doing to us. You're gonna subjugate us. You're gonna force us to do what you want us to do, type of thing. And he's not about that.
Mm-hmm. Mace gets the call though about the village that was just bombed, and Syndulla rethinks this decision.
Yeah.
He sees
Now
that
that
there's more things going on, and he's like,
now
okay,
that the
maybe.
people themselves are getting killed en masse, even more so than
Mm-hmm.
before. Killing women and children. Not even because it's not like they're killing his fighters. Like his freedom fighters that he has. They're targeting
And
helpless villages, helpless
civilians. Yeah,
civilians that are not part of this war. They're just trying to live their lives.
right.
And after hearing this
Um,
news, it really changes uh,
mm-hmm.
Cham Syndulla's mind, and he agrees to speak with Senator Ta and
Yeah,
try and come to some sort of arrangement.
right. We do cut back over, and we see Watt Tambor being greedy and trying to take a lot of possessions with him. This is where we kind of got that, but we covered that earlier, so moving on. The intelligence droid comes in, and he refers to Watt as Amir, which led me to look this up. And Evan, you probably already know it, but anybody in the that's listening, sometimes you hear it being like Amir Tambor or whatever, and I was like, wait a minute, what's the difference? Like, is that his name? Which one is his name? And it just turns out that Emir is a title of rulership or authority over others. So basically, Wat Tambor is his name, but he was appointed Emir of Ryloth during the Separatist occupation.
Yes, and
So he's basically like the Separatists' appointed ruler of this planet.
yeah, because I mean, Amir is not unique to Star Wars term either. Like,
Right.
an Amir was like a ruler of like in Middle Eastern countries, back in like swords and whatnot. No, no, Jacob.
If it was visual, you would see a lot of censorship and stuff because I was making a lot of offensive gestures.
But no, you saw it in more of like the like I want to say like Afghanistan, Iraq type of countries, like Syria, that area. Back in like swords and stuff, swords and shields and days. Like an Emir was a leader of like a city or like of a certain region, that type of thing. Jacob, you need to stop that right now because it is insanely distracting, and I'm trying not to laugh at it. Anyways, back to the episode because we're only like halfway through this episode, and I've been recording for almost an hour now.
Yeah. Either way, so resuming of our stupidity.
Yeah. So Wat Tambor is gathering treasures, and that's why he's stalling his leave.
Right.
And we actually learn instead of just the treasures there in the city, he's bringing them in from like across the planet where he can. He wants to get as much of it as he can before he leaves.
Yep.
But Count Dooku wants him out of the city before the Republic even arrives, before they have a chance to start like laying siege to the city.
Mm-hmm.
But
We see
Wat Tambor is just being stubborn.
Yeah, being greedy and stubborn. We cut over to Cham Syndulla, and he is talking to Senator Orn Frita. They have an argument over power, and I just realized this in this scene. Frita is just a super fat Twi'lek, isn't he?
Yeah, that's all he is. He's just a super fat Twi'lek.
Well,
Yeah. It's not like he's a bigger Twi'lek, like muscular or anything like that. It's just a fat Twi'lek.
He's very, very fat.
Yeah. It's not like he's some like quote unquote big boned, or like some
thing.
like very tall type. Like he's just a normal size, like normal height, fat Twi'lek.
Yeah.
He's like the Jabba the Hutt of Twi'leks.
Mm-hmm. But then I started looking, and I'm like, most Twi'leks, they have two tail type things on the
Yeah,
back of their head. Frita has like, he's got those, but then he's almost got like
he's
two
got
other things. And
his quadruple chin.
well, he's got multiple chins, yeah, but no, I'm talking like the tails on the back of his head. He's got on the actual back, he's got more. So that's kind of odd to me.
Yeah, so that might be just like a different race of Twi'lek. You
Hmm,
know, maybe
maybe.
I'm not entirely sure.
I mean, there could just be like, differences like that. I don't know, but
Yeah. But in this scene, Senator Ta is, you know, accusing Cham of, trying to essentially like usurp him, like, and he's like, I am the leader of our people in the Senate, and Cham kind of retorts back, well, I am the leader of our people here and not where they need it, type, like just kind of
hmm
like neither of them are really giving this a chance. Um, but they get interrupted because Mace Windu gets a transmission from Anakin. And Anakin and Ahsoka with some other, clone fighters are trying to take out the bombers. But he lets Mace Windu know that like they're doing what they can, but there's so many they're not going to be able to stop all of them in time.
hmm We
And
cut over to Watt. Go ahead.
yeah,
I don't want
he
to, if you have
suggests
more to say.
that Mace Windu does what he can to get the people away from all the cities, get them out of there, so when the bombs do hit, they don't die.
Hmm
And Mace Windu essentially just like, I'll do what I can, but there's no guarantee.
Yeah. Um, Watt Tambor has the civilians marched out in front of the city as they kind of try to deter Anakin. Kind of, further shielding in a way.
Before
It's
that,
ahead a little bit. It's ahead by a
yeah,
little bit, but
before that, we see Senator Ta and Cham kind of come to an agreement. Like they'll set their differences aside for now until they can get the Separatists gone, until their people are safe. Um,
hmm,
and Mace Windu kind of chimes in, saying that Cham is worried about another military occupation, but this time by the Republic. And he kind of asks Cham like, what like can you give him like your promise that the clones are gonna leave once the fighting's over? And Chan or what? Holy crap names! Senator Ta agrees that once the fighting is over, once the droids are gone, he is going to ensure that the clones leave Ryloth. So that way it's a truly a free Ryloth with no military occupation, no outside force trying to impose their will on the people, all that stuff that goes with it.
yeah.
And then Cham gives Senator Todd, the guarantee that once the droids are gone, he's not gonna try and assume power, not gonna try and take over, um, in Todd's place. So they kind of come to that, kind of like a gentleman's understanding, like I give you my word type of thing. And then yes, it jumps to the city and it shows some droids going across like their energy bridge.
hmm
But what is it? One of the droids, I think, one or two of the droids that were getting ready to go out on patrol doesn't hear it and keeps walking while the rest of them run back to the city.
Yeah, because
And
they're
we
going to close
see,
down the bridge.
yeah, we see the droid fall down into the canyon and fall and just get destroyed.
Yeah.
Another one of the comic stupidities of the droids.
Yeah. But the others, Mace and Syndulla and their armies, approach the city, and
Yeah.
they do see this. They end up forming a plan of attack. They for sure need to get control of that bridge that is controlling well, obviously
Yeah.
the control place of the bridge.
This is where
Um,
you had kind of commented with the droids are moving all the people out in front of the city, so they can't just open
yes.
fire type of thing.
Yeah, yeah. And they develop a plan. They're going to hijack some Separatist tanks that are full of the treasure that Wat Tambor is trying to take. And they're going to hijack those, get across the bridge with the help of Mace's commander, Pons, who is going to create a distraction.
Yeah, so essentially, Commander Pons is gonna quote unquote start an attack on the city, while Mace Windu and two other clones try and sneak across the bridge to reactivate and make sure it does not get deactivated again.
Mm-hmm.
It
But
does show too that one or two of the clones get on the blurgs and are ready to ride the blurgs, because this is kind of like once Mace Windu and his clones get the bridge back up, like they got to get in quick just in case droids are able to retake that kind of like that bridge control room, and so like
mm-hmm.
whatever clones can are getting mounted on blurgs, to make sure they can get in there as quick as possible.
Yeah. But as they're crossing, so they do hijack, they get in the or in the tanks, and they're crossing the bridge, and they get to the like kind of midway almost, and the droids need to inspect the tanks, so they end up, searching, clear the first tank. The last one's the one with Mace and his clones in it, and so they catch on because they inspect it, see them, get destroyed.
Yeah. So essentially, what they're doing is searching for any sort of explosives, and I'm assuming whatever devices these droids are using can detect life forms.
Yeah.
Because like when they get back to the second tank, it's like I'm picking up some strange readings here. Like I'm guessing somehow, some way with that technology that they have, those little sweeper things they're using, it can detect life forms.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's probably what's going on with those. I think that's probably what they do. But they do catch on and they deactivate the bridge. After some fighting, Mace force pushes and like picks up the two clones that he was with and places them across the bridge, and then takes off running and pulls some freaking Legolas crap with the battle of the when he was battling Bolg. He just basically ninja steps his way up like the falling debris to then catch up with them.
Yeah, and he actually jumps on one of the Stap, or it's called the Stap, one of the flying little droid vehicles.
Yeah.
And uses that to get all the way across. And then we see the main gate open, and a bunch of droids come charging out. And so Mace Windu tells his two troopers to go get the bridge turned back on, and he'll hold off the droids.
Yeah. So they do fight for a bit. They fight their way in, and they end up reactivating the bridge, which then allows the rest of them to cross.
Yeah, and it's like perfectly timed reactivation, because like right as they reactivate it, like the first blurg and ATRTs are running across it, like as soon as it gets activated, like perfect timing, full speed ahead. Like if they didn't get to that bridge when they did, them dudes were plummeting to their death. There was no stopping in time.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But we then cut to the top of the city, and the intelligence droid says that he's taking Wat Tambor's ship, saying that Wat Tambor is a fool, basically being like, all right, you know what? He wants to waste his time with treasure. Screw it. I'm leaving because I'm not getting caught here.
Yeah,
and he's like, he's a fool.
As this is happening, we get a couple of quick jumps back to, the clones and the Twi'leks kind of just pummeling their way through whatever droids are left. We get a few scenes of that as Wat Tambor tries to get to his ship, and then it takes off without him.
Yeah. And, so they fight their way across. That's a little bit further up. But there's still fighting going on.
Yeah.
He leaves, the central intelligence droid does, the intelligence whatever. And in comes Wat Tambor being like, oh, like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Because he's left there. And then they end up, Wat Tambor gets captured by the Republic because they come in and they're just like, what's up, dude?
Yeah, and when the intelligence droid took off, he told Count Dooku that Wat Tambor refused to leave in time. And Dooku tells him to then have the hyena bombers bomb the entire city. So when we see Mace Windu arresting Wat Tambor, informs him that the bombers are coming to level the whole city. At which case we do see 4 or 5 bombers coming in, but Anakin and Ahsoka show up just in time to destroy them before they can bomb the city.
Yep. And they do that. All the civilians are rejoicing, and that's pretty much the end of the episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we see uh Syndulla come in and basically tells Wat Tambor that the conditions for surrender are unconditional, and then thanks Mace Windu for his help, liberating Ryloth.
Yeah.
And then we get a cheering from the local populace as they're having a little parade of the clones through the streets, and then it goes to credits.
Yep. So we're currently at our intermission. So let's just, I guess, have a word from our sponsors and get going on with the next episode. For this one, we got to cue in some carnival music. Has the Clone Wars got you down? Do you need a distraction? Well, come on down to the Hammer of Ryloth's newly opened Rubble Roadhouse Live Entertainment Center. It is here that you can see the many talents of the Twi'lek Dancing Group. We are open 7 days a week. Each performance takes place at 4 and 7 p.m., so come on in and check them out. Bottomless drinks each Saturday.
Nice.
Well, resuming, let's go on and get on into episode 22. It's titled Hostage Crisis, and this will be the final episode of season 1 of the Clone Wars.
So episode 22 gives us a brief description. It says bounty hunters seize control of the Senate building. And to clarify, that is the on Coruscant Senate building.
Right. Yeah. We get our. Oh shoot! I don't actually have a quote. What's the quote for this one? I didn't write it down.
The quote is, "A secret shared is a trust formed."
Well, anyway, so we get our little narrator. What?
What?
Evan, you got to repeat it so I know whether or not to write it down. But
you should probably write it down.
Gosh,
go ahead and write it down.
I love writing down a timestamp and then a question mark because I have no idea what you said. Anyway, our narrator gives us the brief little thing. It says, "Danger looms. Despite recent victories in the Outer Rim, criminal minds plot at the very heart of the Republic. The bounty hunter Cad Bane has assembled some of the deadliest criminals in the galaxy and plans a daring attack to seize members of the Senate. What can be the aim of this despicable act?"
Oh my gosh, I'm just saying, remember Cad Bane.
Yeah, he plays some different parts.
Remember him.
Moving along. Anyway.
So
we open the scene.
Yeah.
Unless you have anything to precede this by.
No, I was just gonna start with scene opens with.
Okay. With some Capitol guards approaching an old Western-looking figure. Cad Bane, if you are familiar, this is who it is. The guards say that it's a restricted area. Guards start kind of getting sniped. It's moving along pretty quick. These Capitol guards kind of approach because Cad Bane has entered this, landing zone kind of thing, and they're like, "This is a restricted area." They start getting sniped. Cad ends up killing one of them, and then in comes a
Go ahead, finish that real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, in comes this one disgusting-looking creature that was the sniper.
Yeah.
And then we get a little midget fish.
So,
as well.
I'm not sure what the name of midget fish is. But the name of the weird sniper-looking chick is Aura Singh. She's another bounty hunter.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you had said, they clear the platform pretty quickly of the Senate guards. And one thing I wanted to double check on. So the Senate guards for the Republic Senate, not a single one of those guards is clones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was, but I wanted to double check before I said it. But yeah, any of these guards that we see in the blue uniforms, in the blue clone-looking uniforms, not a single one of them are actually clones. They're all people of Coruscant. That's their job type of deal.
Mm-hmm. But there's some droids that are with them, kind of helping them out, and they put on uniforms after all the guards are dead.
Yeah, so because basically what we have here for this group of bounty hunters is You've got 2 IG units, like what we saw in Mandalorian. The bounty
Mm-hmm.
hunter droids. We have Cad Bane, which is like a purple alien, like a humanoid alien, but like he doesn't have a nose, and he's got like looks like almost 2 gas canisters going into each cheek. He's got like you had said earlier, like almost like a Western style outfit on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we've got I'm drawing a blank on his name or on the name of the race. But one character people might know is Hondo or Naka.
Oh
Same race
yeah,
as
the
him. If
pirate
anybody, yeah,
kind of
if
race.
anybody listening remembers who that character is, it's the same race as him. You have Aura Singh, who is the sniper. She's got the weird antenna coming out of her head. And then we've got Fish Boy. And then
Mm-hmm.
2 commando droids that the Separatists use.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2 commando droids are the ones that, after they've cleared the platform, and radioed in that nothing's wrong on the platform because the commando droids can change their voice. Um, those are the 2 that suit up in the Senate Guard outfits.
Yep. But we cut to Anakin and Padme. Anakin is suggesting that Padme and him take a trip. Let's go away. I'm on basically like I'm on some sort of vacation, kind of from
Yeah,
Jedi
they
stuff.
calls it like a meditated retreat,
Mm-hmm.
essentially vacation.
Yeah, and but she is concerned with work. Says that she's writing a bill. Anakin's being a little turd though, and it's like, "Oh, is your work more important than me?"
Mm-hmm.
um, and
He's
then he
laying it on
gives.
thick, almost like trying to guilt trip her into it.
He is, and it's such a slimy thing to do. Honestly, I don't
I like
dislike
it.
Anakin, but I don't. It's frustrating.
Yeah, but he's doing the whole, oh, so your work's more important than me. It's like, not more important, but important. Like the work we both do for the Republic is like an important thing. We can't just go away.
Mm-hmm.
And just she's trying to do the like, I've got work to do. Like I can't just go off and take take a week or 2 weeks off. Like we don't work's too, like there's too much work there.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, is it more important? Isn't our love more important, type of thing? And
But
yeah, just trying to guilt trip her into it, essentially.
yeah, he says though that he pulls out his lightsaber and gives Padme it. Says that this lightsaber is his life as a Jedi, and he is giving it to her because he is giving her his life.
Mm-hmm.
They kiss, and as they are doing so, he sets down his lightsaber.
He
She sets down his light.
smooches.
Yeah, like I said, kiss.
I wanted to use the word smooch though.
All right, tonsil hockey, whatever it is.
But it cracks me
and
up because when he first hands it to her, she's in the middle of saying something. And he puts it in her hands, like, "Wow, heavier than I expected." Like
mhm.
somehow, like that just completely threw off her whole train of thought.
But yeah, the we cut over and the droids and the fish infiltrate a control room area. We then cut back to Anakin and Padme, and they hear kind of like something going on outside the doors. So Anakin quickly hides, and in comes Bail Organa. Padme grabs Anakin's lightsaber and hides it really quick, kind of like slides it up her sleeve. And then Bale suggests that they head to like someplace, like a meeting floor. I don't know what it was, but they go.
So one of the
and
other
meet.
senators is calling a meeting of like their small group of senators, for the. Let me get to the bill. Senator Philo is calling for a meeting in the lobby, before they vote on the Enhanced Privacy Invasion Bill. Whatever that is. Privately invading enhanced bills.
Sure. But they need to do that, and she ends up having to take Anakin's lightsaber with her to avoid kind of like suspicion. We see Cad Bane and his group kill some more guards. They enter into this room that the senators are in. Cad Bane fires into the air and basically says, "I'm the one in charge."
Yeah. And so basically, with this bill, whatever the bill is, whatever is supposed to be in it, this group of senators is against it. So I would assume it's some sort of bill that would allow the Republic to legally invade planets and stuff without getting permission from their senators, type of deal.
Mm-hmm. But
yeah, Cad Bane comes in and interrupts, as you were saying.
Mm-hmm. One senator stands up and starts walking away, saying he's like, "I will not listen to this," and Cad Bane shoots him in the back.
Yeah, I'm seeing if they give him a name here real quick. I was just seeing if they okay, yeah, so they don't say his name. Like, you hear the crowd, like the senator's like, "Oh my God," type thing, but they don't actually say his name. So.
Yeah. But yeah, so that one's dead.
He's some weird three-eyed old alien senator thing.
Yeah, it's irrelevant. It's probably from like friggin' Delaware or something.
Well, the senators get taken prisoner essentially, and it cuts over to the chancellor, and Senator Freeta comes in to talk to him about something. Oh, okay. He comes in to relay or to give Chancellor Palpatine Cad Bane's message.
Mm-hmm.
And Cad Bane essentially says, like, "Hey, I've taken control of the east wing of the Senate building, and, whoever's in there. And if you want them back safe, you need to free Zero the Hutt." Which Zero the Hutt is in a detention center here on Coruscant. And he was arrested by the Republic for crimes.
Yeah.
But Chancellor Palpatine kind of like, we don't take kindly to these threats. Like, you don't know who you're dealing with, type thing,
Mm-hmm. And Squeamo Fishboy cuts the power.
Yeah, and so I know that Fishboy has a name. I'm drawing a blank on it.
I'm just calling him Fishboy.
I am perfectly okay
even
with
if
Fishboy.
you tell me the name of it, I will still call him Fishboy.
Yeah, Fishboy is so much easier. He's a freaking little hobbit fish. But yeah, he shuts down the power to the Senate building.
Mm-hmm. Palpatine tries to reach out to Jedi, but the communication is down because the power's out. We cut over to Cad Bane demanding that all senators forfeit communication devices. As Cad Bane...
well, and with this too, Chancellor Palpatine and Senator Freeta are both trapped in his office because with the power being out the door, obviously, can't open his power operator and whatnot. And so I actually think it's not power to the whole building. It's power to the east wing of the building, because within the Chancellor's office, they still have power, but they say that they've triggered the security system, which has locked his door.
But
that's when he tries to contact the Jedi Council or anybody that might be able to hear him.
Yeah. But Cad Bane starts to talk to Padme, and as he's talking to her, Anakin is right behind him. Not right behind him, but in the distance, like behind him up on a ledge. She makes eye contact with Anakin, and Cad notices, so he turns around and starts blasting at Anakin.
And he's blasting with, like, stormtrooper aim.
I mean, yeah.
Like, the blaster shots don't even come close to Anakin.
Yeah.
But Cad Bane does shout out in a question like Skywalker, and then commands some of the bounty hunters to go after him. So at some point, at the very least, Cad Bane has heard of him and has been given some sort of description or something, to where he knows who Anakin is. Which, I mean, like I said, during the Clone Wars, Anakin is like the public figurehead of the Republic. So, I mean, it wouldn't be hard for a bounty hunter such as Cad Bane to know who he is.
Mm-hmm. But we cut over to Anakin, and he has met some of the intruders. He reaches for his lightsaber, but doesn't have it.
Yeah.
the intruders, one of which being one of the pirate kind of Hondo people,
Yeah,
start to search different rooms.
yeah. So from what I see, it's a Hondo person with one of the IG
An
droids.
IG unit. Hmm.
And I'm just double checking to see where it's at. It shows one of them check a room, and it shows like a honestly, it looks like a exotic dancer droid.
Yeah, my exact note is one comes across some sort of droid. What is that? A sex droid?
It's
Yeah,
possible. I don't
yeah,
know, but I think it is possible.
yeah.
But
Anyway,
Hondo race dude and IG droid are going room to room searching for Anakin. As he's obviously hiding because he doesn't have his weapon.
mhm. They close in on the room that Anakin is in. He is hidden. He uses a mind trick on the pirate one, convincing him that they have 2 more floors left to check.
Yeah,
So they
and
go on out and yeah.
he does also because he takes one of his like his little comlink thing and like breaks it in half and does with some cables in whatever terminal he's
Oh,
at
yeah.
to
Yeah.
to communicate with Chancellor Palpatine. Um,
Yeah.
and
Um
so Chancellor Palpatine basically tells him like, "We're locked in. It's up to you. You gotta get the power back on so we can get help." Essentially, is what Palpatine tells him.
mhm. But yeah, then he goes upstairs and sends the wait.
Yeah. So he does the force trick on the one
Mhm.
bounty hunter. They go off to split because there's stairs there, and the one goes up. The IG droid goes down. Um,
Mhm.
and Anakin moves to go all Assassin's Creed on him and try and take him out.
Mhm.
And he sneaks up on the IG droid and they start fighting. Um, and he actually destroys the IG droid. He gets the blaster away from it and like beats it to destruction.
Mhm. Yeah, beating it to non-functionality.
Yeah, and the
Uh
the Hondo race dude
down.
comes down and finds it
Mhm.
destroyed.
He reports to Cad Bane, telling that the Jedi is unarmed. Cad demands Anakin be brought to him then. We then cut to Anakin seeing, he sees this stupid fish boy. Padme is debating on what to do with the lightsaber and has informed Bail Organa about it, being like, I have this, they cannot find it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Cad calls Palpatine and makes more demands. We go over to Anakin again, and he's trying to get Fish Boy. More bounty hunters come in, and then stupid Fish Boy tases Anakin and immobilizes him.
Yeah, so basically the fish boy is like the um he's more or less the technology expert type guy. Like he's the one that
Yeah.
hacks in to shut down the power and disable the communications and that type of stuff. That's his role
Mm-hmm.
in this mission.
Yeah.
But Senator Freeta actually gets sent to do the whole negotiating and get Zero out of prison.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know how he got out of the room because I thought the door was locked. Let me rewind real quick just to make sure.
The IG comes in,
Oh
or one
yeah,
of the droids comes in.
Fishboy does some more hacking to unlock that door. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you covered that. Sorry, I missed that part.
No, you're fine. But yeah, so they go and they go out. Anakin is brought in unconscious and thrown in with the senators. Freeta and the IG arrive at the prison. Zero the Hutt is released, being way too dramatic.
Yeah,
And as he is doing that, one of the guards just goes, "Oh my god," which I think is
yeah,
hilarious.
and because these guards at the prison are actual clones.
Yeah,
But
they
yeah,
just go,
Zero.
but
Yeah, Zero is being overly dramatic. Like, it's so bright. Why couldn't it be at night? Why is it so hot? Annoying little. I hate Zero. He's so annoying.
I do too. Yeah.
Um, but it jumps back to Cad Bane, and he tells some of the bounty hunters to go get the parting gifts. And so
Mhm.
essentially they set up explosives all around where the senators are being held. They have like almost like a tripwire, but it's like a sensor beam, I guess, like a trip beam, I guess. So like if someone moves into one of those beams, triggers explosion, they all die.
Mhm. Um.
Cuts back to Zero, where Zero gets traded for Free Ta, and
Mhm.
Free Ta goes with the IG droid in their vehicle to rendezvous for pickup.
Yeah, and Cad Bane did send word to Palpatine saying that he's done there, but not to try anything until nightfall.
Yeah.
They activate the lasers, and yeah, they'll be detonated if tripped.
Yeah.
He goes to leave, and the clones and or clones, or I don't know, but the Chancellor confront Cad Bane, and he mentions the bomb, just being like, "Yeah, not so fast."
Yeah, because we see some clones crash through Chancellor Palpatine's window to secure and make sure he's safe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they move to try and intercept Cad Bane. And as you said, that's when he informs him about the explosives.
Right. Anakin wakes up. We see Cad Bane gets picked up by the IG unit with Zero the Hutt in a hover kind of car, and they take off.
Yeah.
Padme gives Anakin his lightsaber. We're back in this room. She frees him, because he's handcuffed. He then cuts a hole in the floor for them to escape through, and it falls down right as the bombs go off.
Yeah,
because Cad Bane.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he remotely activates them because he turns to Zero and is like, "How would you like, revenge on the senators and whatnot?" And again, Zero being all dramatic, like, "Oh yeah, I've been suffering, blah blah blah, blow him up."
Lovely impersonation.
Yeah, I do what I can, I do what I can.
Yeah. But yeah, Anakin cuts a hole in the floor. They drop through right as it blows up, so they're safe.
Yeah.
We then cut to Cad Bane and Zero, and Cad is demanding payment from Zero. And there's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So that is the end of season 1 of the Clone Wars.
Yeah. So honestly, I'm not a big fan of this episode. I think it's just kind of no point to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I enjoy the Clone Wars TV show as a whole. This is one of very few episodes that I'm just like, there really wasn't a point to this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Because throughout the TV show, we have episodes where it's based around like the senators and what's going on within the Republic. We have episodes where it's following Jedi specifically or Jedi and clones. Somewhere it's just following clones. And personally, I'm not a big fan of where it's kind of like following the senators and like whatever bill they're trying to stop. I'm not the biggest fan of those episodes, but I do enjoy them. Like I said, I really don't see the point in doing this whole bounty hunters infiltrate the Senate building to rescue Zero the Hutt, who we don't. Zero the Hutt's one of those characters where it's like, why even introduce him as a character? In my opinion, he just kind of seems like a useless character they threw in.
He is, yeah.
But that's kind of my final words on the episode specifically.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would say kind of the same. I don't like that character. I think that I enjoy all of Star Wars to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of the lesser episodes, but I'm not gonna complain about it. It was just there. But yeah,
the only upside I see to them introducing Zero the Hutt is us seeing more of like the Hutt race. Because up until this point, we've only seen Jabba and his wife in episode 1. And that's all we've seen of
Yeah.
the Hutt race. So I mean, I guess this is a way for them to introduce them. Well, I guess we've seen Jabba's son in the Clone Wars movie. Um,
Oh yeah.
but I guess this is just kind of a way to introduce more Hutts out there. Like, hey, it's more than just Jabba. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that's kind of the only upside that I could see to them introducing Zero as a character.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, I suppose we've got I don't know how many downloads we are in for our next 1,000, but for sure keep those coming. Share it with a friend. All of that. If you would like to have another blooper reel, every 1,000 downloads we do that. We also encourage you guys to leave reviews, ratings on Apple. What do we do there, Evan?
Yeah, so every 25 reviews, or I say every, but once we reach our first 25 reviews, we'll do a live stream coverage of whatever episode or a couple of
Mm-hmm.
episodes in the case of Clone Wars, and or whatever part of a film we're covering at the time, where you guys can interact with us, ask questions, give comments, make fun of me, whatever you want to do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, whenever we do reach that first
Yeah.
25 Apple reviews, and like I said before, it's on you guys. If you guys want it, go leave
Mm-hmm.
reviews, spread the word, so they can go
Yep.
leave reviews.
So not only is there incentive there, it's like we'd do a live stream. We'd love to do that. It's on you guys to help us get there. But also, there's incentive, I would say, to leaving a review, as we will read it on the podcast. So you could really have some fun with that. I know that Name Seth did in the previous kitten fueled, I don't even know what one, but so hey, leave a review. On another note, if you want to help us out and support the podcast, we have a Patreon now. We have 2 tiers for $5 a month. You guys get early access content, exclusive voting rights, and ad-free episodes. And for $7, it's almost fully uncensored, episodes as well as the other stuff. So there's that. If you want to get in contact with us, follow us on other platforms. All the links are in the description via the one link. Other than that, I would say have a good one.
Yeah.
Deuces.